Hello and hi, welcome back to our Bernama Mobile Studio. We are still here in Langkawi, International Convention Center in Kedah, Malaysia. From 2nd to 4th of September, we got the 18 ASEAN on the environment, AMME-18. And we have a special guest for this afternoon. We are delightful and honored to have His Excellency Wopke Hoekstra, the European Commissioner for Climate and Net Zero and Clean Growth, joining us here at AMME-18 in Langkawi. How are you, Your Excellency?
I'm fine. Thank you very much, and thank you for having me. It's a great opportunity, and it is fantastic to be here in beautiful Malaysia.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your time as well. We know that you have a busy schedule, but we're going to go straight to our questions. Excellency, carbon pricing is gaining attention worldwide. How can the EU support ASEAN in building effective carbon market?
So one of the most effective things humanity can do to deal with the huge climate problem we're facing is indeed to price carbon, to attach a price to the stuff we pump into the air. Over the last 20 years, we have gained a lot of experience in Europe with building our own emissions trading system. And we're currently in very active conversations with our friends and partners, particularly from the ASEAN region, how to make sure that this gets traction over here as well. And there's huge appetite. I also sensed during the conversations we had today, and that is fantastic. In general, there's a huge sense of partnership and unity and shared ambition between the ASEAN countries and the European Union.
You told me earlier that you were from Amsterdam, and Amsterdam was noted as one of the happiest places in the world. How can we adapt that into ASEAN environment?
Oh, that's almost a philosophical question. I can only say that here, not only in your amazing beautiful country, but also more broadly in the region, I always, I tend to admire and cherish the upbeat spirit and the sense of togetherness that I always experience. But it is indeed true that the Netherlands and Amsterdam also tend to rank pretty high in terms of their happiness. I think what is very important, particularly in the geopolitical times we're living in, is to make sure that we continue to build bridges, to build communities at a local level, at a regional level, but even between areas as far apart as ASEAN and Europe, because there's so much that we have in common.
Okay. Your Excellency, the big challenge for this region is balancing growth and emissions. In your view, how can ASEAN continue to grow in economy while moving forward in net zero?
You know what? What is true for your region is exactly the same thing for us. Balancing the obligations and the opportunities that we have in terms of sustainable economic growth, and at the same time making sure we rapidly diminish our footprint. That is what we owe also to future generations. And if there's one thing I'm truly convinced of, is that we can actually pull this off. If you look at the European Union, in the same years that we have enjoyed a 70% increase in economic growth, we've managed to decrease our emissions by 1/3. So it is doable. Okay. It takes efforts, but it is doable, and particularly with all the technologies that we see in the domain of solar, in the domain of wind, in the domain of geothermal. The opportunity is there. We just need to reap it.
So there is no reason not to doing that.
It's not easy in every single domain, but the opportunity is huge. Just to give you one statistic, and you're mentioning the place where I'm from. If you look at the Netherlands, it's a very small country, but it has more solar panels than the whole of Africa combined. And the Netherlands is a place where it almost always rains, and Africa gets 40% of the world's sun.
Yeah.
I'm an optimist, so I see an opportunity for way more solar in Africa, but frankly speaking, also all over Europe and all over the globe. And the cost curve is absolutely spectacular. So there's a huge a financial opportunity, not just a climate opportunity, but also a financial opportunity here as well.
Okay. Your Excellency, Europe has developed strong climate policies and instruments. Which of these do you believe could be adapted to ASEAN contexts?
You are already mentioning one that is very close to my heart and, in my view, extremely effective. And that is making sure that you price carbon.
Okay.
It's not ideological. It is something you can apply to almost any sector, almost anywhere in the world. And interestingly enough, countries from across the globe have embarked on this. I recently talked to our friends and colleagues in Brazil, in Chile, in Mexico, and they are all embarking on a similar system, as are more and more countries here in your part of the world. So pricing carbon, making sure everyone embarks on an emission trading system, is one of the most effective things for humanity at large to deal with climate change.
Okay. Green finance is also critical for scaling climate solution. How can EU-ASEAN cooperation help mobilize the more financing for biodiversity and climate action?
We are already doing that. So hugely important is, of course, what our companies are doing. And they're often leading the way. That is true for European, but it's just as well Asian companies. They're leading the way in diminishing their own footprint. That is one. That is hugely important. But for example, we're also making very significant investments through the Asian Development Bank, where our green financing facility is, from the top of my head, roughly $750 million. So very substantial money, geared towards a new, cleaner economy.
And under the Excellency, what is your long-term vision for EU-ASEAN cooperation on climate and sustainability?
Well, let me zoom out and share with you that I feel a deep sense of gratitude for having been invited here in what is a true spirit of friendship and partnership. We're two blocks of countries on very different places on the globe, but with a very similar outlook towards the importance of stability, international trade, climate action, by which we're all affected. And in my view, these type of partnerships between ASEAN and the European Union, we should continue to develop because there's such a spirit of togetherness. There's a huge opportunity, and there's simply the challenges that we're facing together in the domain of climate change.
So you've been here in Langkawi for 2 days, I think so, and you've been seeing our blue sea, blue sky and everything. What do you think about Langkawi?
I think it is an amazing place. The good news is I'm here for 3 days.
Okay.
It's even too short, but it is already better than 2. It's amazingly beautiful, and I can only commend the government for doing an excellent job in organizing what is truly a superb conference.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for sharing your insight. We look forward for deeper EU-ASEAN collaboration in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.